Yo, what's going on, guys? Mush back at it with another video, and it is time to talk about one of our favorite topics. No, it's not. It is bad PC ports, and it is an unfortunate reality that we talk about on this channel all the time, as I don't really want to say that the bad PC ports have been increasing and increasing, although in 2025, it certainly did feel that way. Maybe that's partly me being a prisoner of the moment, and just because a lot of it is fresh to me. Look, bad PC ports aren't a new thing. I remember 2014, Assassin's Creed Unity, 2015, Batman Arkham Knight, 2023, I remember in the span of a month, we got The Last of Us Part 1 and Star Wars Jedi Survivor, two of the worst PC ports that I have ever seen in a decade plus of PC gaming. But 2025 was a doozy because there were a lot of them, and I want to go over 5 of my worst PC port experiences of 2025. PC versions, PC port, whatever you want to call it. Now, as I've always said, the reality with PC versions and playing games on PC, not everybody has the same expectations when it comes to PC games. Some people are looking for a locked 60 frames per second with no crashes. Some people are okay with 30 frames per second and their game crashing every 2 hours. Different strokes for different folks. This is my personal experience as well. For some people, we get but the game ran well for me, brother. The game ran well for me. You know, I call them but it runs fine for me bandits out there whenever a bad PC port comes out, and they just want to get all online and gloat about how it runs well for them, and suddenly all the thousands of people complaining about said PC port, they're just making things up. But, you know, most of you guys are well aware about that. I'm playing games mostly on my main PC with the 4070. I'm not testing these games on 8 different PCs with different hardware configurations or anything like that. This is just my experience, and the PC ports that irritated me the most. Are there more than this list? Absolutely. There are games that I'm not going to be mentioning, like Wushang Fallen Feathers, because I didn't play much of that on PC myself, but my buddy played it. I watched him play it, and I watched that game brick his PC not once, but twice, to the point he had to uninstall and reinstall drivers. It's been a bit of a crap show, but let's get into it. The first 2 games kind of fall into the same criteria. Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater will be my first title in a PC port that infuriated me. Performance wasn't great on this one. I know the performance on consoles wasn't great either. Performance wasn't great, but it wasn't about the performance in this game being lackluster that irritated me. It was the crashing, and I experienced quite a lot of crashing in this game over the course of the 15 to 17 hour playthrough that I had, and the issue with the crashing in a game like this is you get the crashes at the worst times, and, you know, over the course of 15 to 17 hours, I want to say I had north of 10 crashes. This was back in August, so some of it's a little bit foggy to me, but it was a lot, to the point it became jarring. And you're talking about a game with lengthy cutscenes. Getting hit with a crash in the middle of a cutscene, totally immersion breaking. I literally had a crash at the final cutscene of the game that was setting up a lot of the narrative points for Metal Gear following Delta Snake Eater, and it's just like, dude, crashing, I get it if it's one crash every 4 to 6 hours, but when it's a crash every 45 minutes to an hour and in the midst of cutscenes, it's just terrible. Back in the day, one thing that infuriated me, and still infuriates me, is stuttering. Stuttering, I think, is totally immersion breaking. Throw in crashing, because with a lot of these Unreal Engine 5 games, I feel like I've been experiencing hard crashing to desktop more than ever before. That's one issue that I feel like has been so much more pronounced over the last year or two with a lot of these UE5 games, and with Delta Snake Eater, in my experience, it was really bad. So that's going to be number 1. Number 2, Mafia: The Old Country. Same story about Metal Gear Solid Delta Snake Eater. The crashing in this game became unbearable, and this is a game that's 8 to 10 hours long, and when you're having a crash once again, I want to say it was 45 minutes to an hour at most, it becomes infuriating. And another game where the narrative is so heavy in it, and it's the strongest point of this game is the storytelling and is the voice actor performances. It's so well done, and the performance in this game from a frame rate standpoint wasn't blow away, but again, much like Delta Snake Eater, that wasn't the issue with this game. It was the crashing in my experience, and the crashes during cutscenes. There are some real big moments in this game that you're like, oh my god, stuff's going down. Don Torrisi, the head of the Mafia in this game, is doing some wild stuff and things are going down. The story is getting into its climax. Oh, we are in the middle of a cutscene. Here's an Unreal Engine 5 error for you. I'll see you back on the desktop. Totally immersion breaking, much like Delta Snake Eater. The experience, like, there was one point in Mafia the Old Country in the second portion of the game, the latter half of the game. Like I said, Don Torrisi, one of the key characters of this game, is doing some wild things, and you just get an Unreal Engine 5 crash, and I just started laughing I remember vividly just laughing and face palming, being like, of course it would crash here. Like, that's just what happens, and let me tell you, for me, and you could be different, you might be like, oh, this isn't a big deal. That destroys my experience in a game, and it's totally unpredictable. It's almost like you're playing Russian roulette. Maybe I'll get a crash, maybe I won't, but I'll play through the game. Oh, here's a crash, and the fact that it comes out of nowhere at the heat of one of the big moments in the game, totally immersion breaking, and it destroys the experience of actually playing a narrative-driven game. And I feel like my experience playing Mafia the Old Country, while I did really enjoy the game because I played it on PC with so many crashes, it was hampered quite a bit. A bummer, because again, I did really like the game. Alright, moving on from that, Monster Hunter Wilds. For a lot of people, this is gonna be their number one as far as worst PC ports of the year. For me, I did complete Monster Hunter Wilds on PC, and dude, it's not like the performance in this game made it totally unplayable, but the performance was really bad. And on top of that, like, graphically, you guys, Monster Hunter Wilds is not that good looking of a game. And that seems to be a reoccurring trend. Do some of these games look that good? In the case of Monster Hunter Wilds, it's a fine looking game. It's totally serviceable. To the point of it having performance issues like it does, it is ridiculous. Some of the textures in this game look absolutely rancid. And on top of that, the updates for this game, it has been, what, 11 months, 10 months since this game has come out? It hasn't gotten much better. People report that a lot of it gets worse. And again, my experience with this game wasn't like absolutely abhorrent like I've read it was, but I'm not gonna diminish the people saying that it was an absolutely abhorrent experience for them, because guess what? There's thousands of people saying that, and again, my expectations out of PC performance is probably a little bit less. The game wasn't crashing on me a lot, but the performance was bad, and relative to how this game looks, it's inexcusable. And on top of that, what's become another big element is like how publishers handle these bad PC ports. Come on now, Capcom. But yeah, Monster Hunter Wilds, for a lot of people, it's the worst PC port of the year. I'm gonna have it at number 3. Alright, next up, Borderlands 4. Borderlands 4 has to be on here for a plethora of reasons. Yes, the garbage PC performance, it's absolutely rancid. The element of, once again, much like Monster Hunter Wilds, it's effing Borderlands. These games don't look that good. Totally serviceable, totally fine for a Borderlands game. They aren't these blow-away titles that top-of-the-line GPUs should not be able to get 60 frames per second on unless you turn on frame gen, unless you turn on this and that, AI upscaling, etc., etc. And then bonus points for one Randy Pitchford making an absolute clown show out of this game. And yes, I get that this is a single-player game that people move on from, but Borderlands 4, it is going to be really interesting that when the DLC comes out, are people going to circle back to this game, or has there been real damage done as far as the perception of Borderlands on PC? And I do personally believe damage was done. I feel like Borderlands 4 at launch was such a clown show, and yes, it did good numbers concurrently. Monster Hunter Wilds did good numbers concurrently as well, but I really do believe with some of these games being as bad as they are, you do real damage to the IPs, and I think Borderlands 4, it's gonna be a little bit of an eye-opener for Gearbox once this DLC comes out, because the amount of people that I've talked to that have played Borderlands 4, they beat the game, and their mindset is, it was a fine game, and this is outside of the port, it was a fine game, I'm never going back to it again. I have heard that from so many people, and I am not kidding you guys, I probably talked to like 12 people in regards to Borderlands 4 in my personal life as far as their thoughts on the game and whether or not they would go back. Only one, literally only one person told me that they were gonna go back and play the DLC when it comes out. I get it that they locked the coolest Vault Hunter behind the first piece of DLC, but I still don't think that's enough. And I think Gearbox is gonna end up being fairly disappointed with that, but nonetheless. And then again, Randy Pitchford just being an absolute clown on Twitter, and you know, get a better PC, don't try to play this game on your 3060, get a job, etc, etc. Like, it's just ridiculous, man. From the $80 potential arc of, you know, Pitchford, and that being, oh yeah, just make the money, true fans will make it happen, and then the PC port comes out. Oh, and let us not forget about this little key fact that things sometimes get lost. These companies are so well aware of their PC versions being garbage before the games come out. How is it with Borderlands 4, the game comes out, then people start reporting all of the issues that they're having on PC, and then Gearbox is like, oh, here you go, here's this optimization guide for NVIDIA, and then people are like, wait a second, well, what is this? You have to have this high end of a GPU to play this game at this settings, and it's just like, bro, you had the optimization guide ready. Why didn't you drop that, I don't know, before people bought the game? Funny enough, the optimization guide comes out after people buy the game, after the game's officially out. Either that's incredibly inept that you made the optimization guide after the game came out. More than likely, I believe that they were keeping it close to the vest so they could sell the game and then drop you the optimization. I mean, that's the only thing I could come up with. So Borderlands 4, that's gotta be on the list. But finally, and this is for me, the worst PC port of the year. I don't care that it's gotten better because it's embedded into my memory of this game coming out on PC, and there's a tangent I could go on about this game. Without a doubt, for me, the worst PC port of the year, in my experience, was Spider-Man 2. This is by far, I can't even begin to go over all of the layers of how bad Spider-Man 2 is, but I just talked about how these developers and these publishers know about a PC port being bad before it comes out. Spider-Man 2 is so clearly indicative of that. I remember the lead up to this game. For whatever reason, Sony was being very quiet about this game. Pre-orders weren't opening up until the launch of the game. We weren't getting that insight that you typically would get for a PlayStation PC release. Typically, outside of Last of Us Part 1 and maybe Horizon Zero Dawn when that came out, especially the games that are done by Nix's software, they have been really good. Spider-Man Remastered, Horizon Forbidden West, you know, God of War 2018. There have just been a lot of quality PlayStation PC versions that have come out, but Spider-Man 2, they were very quiet about. And lo and behold, they were quiet about it because the PC version was absolutely terrible. And beyond that as well, it was such a black eye to Nix's software, who, like I said, were doing great PC port after great PC port, but with Spider-Man 2, it was disastrous. And I remember when the game came out, and you know, the game's crashing left and right for me. I'm getting bad performance on a 4070. I'm not expecting to run this game maxed out at 4K, but you're talking about me troubleshooting this game for 7 hours the day that it came out, and then subsequently the following day troubleshooting it. And Spider-Man 2, in my experience with this game on launch day, is literally the absolute worst aspect of PC gaming, where I'm not gaming. It doesn't become me gaming. It's me becoming PC game troubleshooting simulator for 8 hours, for 9 hours, 10 hours, and I'm trying to get this game to work that I spent my money on. Sony didn't send me a copy of Spider-Man 2. I spent my money on the game. Playing Troubleshoot Simulator for hours and hours, cannot get the game to work, drop it for a while, 2 weeks of patches come out, and ultimately the game gets better. I beat the game on PC, Yes, I get that. But having a game launched in this way, and then also when you couple the fact how they were being so silent about it, obviously knowing that this game was a pile of trash on PC, that to me is just inexcusable. And from my experience, this is the one that I hated the most. And maybe you hate Monster Hunter Wilds more, maybe you hated Borderlands 4 more. Bear in mind, I also love the original Spider-Man 2018. I played that on PlayStation 4. I beat it on PC numerous times. Spider-Man 2 I liked as well, but I was very excited to see the game on PC again, and then playing through it again. And then, just to get this pile of trash was so disappointing. And again, this game and my experience with it for that week or two, while Nix's was working on updates, encompassed absolutely all of the negatives of PC gaming and the garbage PC port. Spider-Man 2 was a literal abomination, an atrocity, and inexcusable, and hopefully Sony never has anything like this again. Shout out to Shift Up for what they did with Stellar Blade, and PlayStation published that, but Nix's software bounced back with Last of Us Part 2 as well. But man, Spider-Man 2 was just a disaster, and I don't think people are gonna recall Spider-Man 2 as the worst PC port of the year, but from my experience and my level of excitement for seeing Spider-Man 2, a fairly quick turnaround on PC as well, disaster, and it was absolutely terrible. I get it, it's better now, but that initial period and just how they handled it, it was a train wreck. It was terrible, and yeah, I'm not buying games on PC to play Troubleshooting Simulator, but that's becoming more and more of a reality these days. But that's gonna do it for me, and like I said, I think 2025 was a pretty bad year for PC ports. Hopefully 2026 will be better. Some games I am eyeing that, potentially might have some issues. Definitely Neo 3. Neo 3 is gonna be a big game, but Tecmo Koei, hopefully y'all get it right with that. Crimson Desert, I'm really curious to see how that game ends up performing. That's just a super impressive game. Hopefully Code Vein 2 is alright. That game hopefully will run well. Resident Evil Requiem. Resident Evil titles have always ran fairly well, so let's just hope. I should be more positive on these games coming out, but sometimes it's hard when you got some of the absolute trash that comes out. But that'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comments section down below, and if you played a lot of games in 2025, let me know what your worst experience was. And shout out to all of the good games. Like I said, Stellar Blade, Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, Dynasty Warriors Origins. Tecmo Koei, I give them a lot of flack when it's deserved, but they did a good job with Dynasty Warriors Origins in my experience. So there were certainly some good ones, but when you have so many bad ones, and shouldn't the expectation be that if we're spending $50 to $60 on these games that all of the PC ports should be good? I shouldn't have to celebrate a good PC port because there are so many trash and bad ones, but I digress. That'll do it for me. Let me know all of your thoughts in the comment section down below. As always, guys, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys in the next one. Peace out. Hey, what's going on, guys? Mush here again. Hope you enjoyed the video. As you guys might know, YouTube's notification system is sometimes a little bit wonky, even if you're subscribed to the channel. Maybe you're not abundantly aware that I uploaded a video. To remedy that situation, make sure you hit the bell notification button. This way, whenever I upload a new video, and I try to upload as consistently as possible, you will be notified directly of the upload, and you can watch it as soon as it goes live. I would really appreciate if you guys hit that button so you can stay up to date with all of the content I'm posting. But as always, guys, thanks for watching, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace out.